you're going to set me on fire, not God. Good morning, everybody. I want to welcome the guests. Welcome to the service this morning. I pray that you take something from it this morning. And gentlemen, that's here today, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. And a Sunday morning service, especially at Jericho, nothing to be taken lightly. It's an important slot. It belongs to our head, our leader, Pastor Jericho from it. So it's a privilege for me to stand here this morning. So it's very important to bring a good message, a good preach. So I know this morning I'm going to speak about something that's very close to my heart. I think it's very important that when you preach, specifically preach, that you speak from a place of a relationship. Because when you speak from a place of relationship, or speak from a place of what you've gone through and what you've seen in life and what you've learned, it's a lot more substance to it. And hopefully through that you guys can relate, or you guys can see things you might not have seen before, etc. And the scripture that's very dear to me, and it's something that's carried me through, specifically because of an incident that happened about 5 years ago, still on Carolina farm. My wife was pregnant with a little boy, and I remember that day. It was a Tuesday, and I was called into the office by our head, Jericho, and he said to me that he's gone. It was 3 weeks before she was supposed to give birth, and she had an abruption. And because of all the nonsense that I've made, etc., I didn't cry. I remember I just sat there. And I remember a friend of mine, you might have met this little fox, load of beer. He was there, and they said, Jericho said, I must take a walk, and I took a walk. And I remember Lo, this real short man, he's a lot taller than what he looks, he's a bit short to me. He was here on the right hand side of me, just on the side of me here. And I was walking, those of you that might, some of you might know Carolina. I think majority of you don't know Carolina.
I do.
Okay, Yolandi does, myself. So Kevin means we have an idea of the walk down. So I took a walk, and the whole time I didn't know what to say or what to talk about. Or I said to myself, I need to cry. I need to mourn this thing. And I'm walking, and I need to respond. So I'm not responding, I'm not reacting, I'm not doing anything. I'm just walking. Yes, low. See low inside like this. And walked, and I walked, and I walked, and I walked. And the whole time the scripture kept ringing in my ear. You guys can guess what it might have been. That my grace is sufficient for you. My grace is sufficient for you. And yeah. So the whole time I think I must respond here. I must respond. I must. And finally I came back up with Lo. I know Lo will speak about it when he comes. You'll mention and say to you, you'll never forget that. And on purpose I had to force myself physically to fall on my knees, and I didn't know what to say, so when I said, I quoted the scripture, my grace is sufficient for you. And I remember Lo sitting next to me. And I know that's what's carried me through all my life. And not just me, but every one of you here. But we need to understand, grace isn't available to you, or you cannot walk in the grace that God has given you if you're living in the wrong place in here.
Amen.
You cannot. I had to come to a point that day where I had to on purpose say to myself that to carry me through this situation, because the logical thing for most of my peers and my friends would be for me to lose the plot. Now, when you have a good excuse, we come here with good excuses for doing what we do. Rejection, or a death, or divorce, or something. We've got good excuses to do what we do. Wouldn't that have been a good excuse for me to say, you know what? Because I remember in that time I was praying every day that you'll be fine, that you'll be alright. His name would have been Israel Daniel. Do not be that. And I mean every day, without fail, praying and focused and doing what I needed to do. So when I heard that, I was like, sure. No, I wasn't angry. I was dead inside. My wife at the time spent 5 days in ICU because she bled a lot. So she also I think she flatlined for a period of time. And she's told me that she heard my boys calling her. I have twin boys. Matthew and Ethan calling her. And she came out of it. So she survived. She survived. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. Read the scripture. I see you got Paul the Apostle movie here. You guys watch it yet? Suggest that you guys have an opportunity. Soccer, Paul the Apostle. No. Joking, I won't do that to you guys. I think both are equally interesting. 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9. I just want to read the scripture to you. Now, Paul speaks about a thorn in his flesh. Paul speaks about a thorn in his flesh. I think every one of us, who doesn't have a thorn in their flesh? Okay? I'm willing to guarantee you the reason you're sitting here today is because there's a thorn in your flesh. Doesn't matter who you are, I don't care how clever you are, I don't care how sharp you are, there's not one of you sitting here today that doesn't have a thorn in their flesh. And I'm sure many times in your weakness, in that time, you've called out to God and you've said, God, please man, I'm hurting my family, I'm doing this, I've got this thing going on, please take it away. And because you're not living in the right place inside, you don't hear what he has to say to you. That my strength is made perfect in your weakness. That we should be in a place where we should understand that with us being weak in that area, that's where the grace is available. But that grace cannot be received if you're full of pride. That grace cannot be received. You say, you know what? I don't need help. I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to confess that. That's not where grace is available for you. Grace is available to you with that song, I surrender. When you surrender yourself, you fall to your knees and say, okay, I have the sin. The sin is hurting me. The sin is killing me. The sin can cause me to do things and say things that will hurt other people. And in that moment, when you call out to God, God will say these very words to you, that my grace is sufficient for you. And in that place of surrender, in that place of being humble, not in that place of being arrogant or trying to prove that you're right. It's not in that place. In that place where we're in a place of servitude. In that place that even though you don't know where you're going to get the strength from, that you keep doing what you need to do. I'm not saying trying to be perfect. If you need to exit this room, whether you crawl there, or you walk there, or you run there, or you get dragged there, either way you get to where you need to get. Either way you'll get to where you need. It might take a bit longer, but you'll get there. And I believe in that place is where God's grace is available to us. And in that place, God molds and shapes us and does what He needs to do in our hearts. And changes us so He needs to change us. But if you want to live in that place where we put ourselves here, my friends, that thing is a hard task, master. It's a hard task, master. It deceives you into it, but you think, a place of peace. There's no peace there. Where is the peace? The peace is there only when you say, hey, this thing is a thorn in my flesh. The thing is hurting me, it's destroying me, it's killing me. You know, being in a place like this is humbling people. There's very few people that will leave here and say that they were Jericho, unless you want to continue down that road and then, okay, I'm going back to Jericho or whatever. It's a hard place to be, it's a humbling place to be, but it's the right place to be in the sense of not just this place, any place where you have to be humbled, any place where you have to listen and obey and follow, is a place where God's grace can start working. And we miss it. We miss it. Every time in my life, if I exalt myself, or I get angry with my peers, or anything, what do you think? I'm human, of course. We get angry with one another. In that place there, God's grace is not available for me to handle. But if I go, hey, and I humble myself, and I fall to my knees, and I say, this thing is a thorn in my side, the God's grace is available, and God brings me through those things. It's through the tough time, it's through the hard time, when God carries you through, is when He starts developing you, and growing you, and turning you into the person that you are meant to be. Not yet. Not yet. We cannot be young with these thorns at our side. We come to a place like this, or we look for help, or if we're going up, God can't do anything, not because it's not available to you. I was going to tease you now, I'm going to tease you guys. Oh, Jericho. What's this? What's this one here?
Eternal life, free gift.
What? Grace.
Grace, yeah.
Heaven is a free gift. It's unmerited favor. Heaven is a free gift. It's unmerited favor. We're trying our best to try and prove ourselves, where God just says, hey, accept it, receive it, walk in it, crawl in it. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be perfect. We have to go through a day where no one corrects you or rebukes you. We're here because we need correction. We're here because we need rebuke. We're here because we need direction. And in those moments when we humble ourselves, despite the person maybe being younger than us, or you think he's a bit of a fool, you know, if he's a fool or a rocker, I can't say that. But it's in those places where you change. It's in those places where we grow. When we're serving that taskmaster, who do we listen to? Hey? We're serving that anger, and we're serving those things that drive us to do those things that we shouldn't do. Who do we listen to? No one. No one. The fear of the police arresting you, does it make you scared? No, in that moment, it doesn't make you afraid. It's when you sober up and you clean up, you go, oh, flip, where am I now? You can't serve that thing. You can't live in God's grace with that thing. My favorite is this here. Is that once you receive heaven as a free gift, you receive the grace of God that says you have eternal life and He's forgiven you. The biggest part for me, it's God's ability to do or go through what you need to go through. That's what I believe grace is there for. God's ability, God's strength to go through what you need to go through. Every one of you need to go through things, what are you here? Some of you need to go through things that are hard and tough. Maybe, like I said, a divorce, or your mom, your dad are upset, and you're upset with your mom and dad. But what happens when you submit yourself? Those relationships are restored. That's where the grace is available. Oh, but you were wrong, and you were, no, that's not what's restored. It's God's ability to go through those things. It's God's ability, when you get corrected in the morning for doing something you should have done, that ability to go and stand in committee, guys, and get told, hey, you're missing it. God's grace isn't available when you try and show the people up in there. God's grace is available when you go, ooh, don't like what was said, I don't like the way they spoke, but hey, that's when God's grace is available. In that moment, God's grace is available. Grace in the Hebrew and grace in Greek. I've written it down, but I've got charis is in Greek and shen is in Hebrew, just for interest's sake. But it literally means to bend or to stoop in kindness. It literally means to bend or to stoop in kindness. So you project, you reflect what's going on in your heart and your life. So when you come to a place where you don't feel like bending, and you don't feel like stooping, and you humble yourself, aren't you practicing what's available to you? What's it saying? We like to say it when we get agitated. We say our kindness, don't mistake our kindness for weakness. Okay? I've been there. Don't mistake my kindness for weakness. See, the kindness I give out, the kindness God gives out, that's where the grace is. So when you walk out of that office, or you correct it, or when you're in a place like this, when you're kind and you stoop low and you humble, all these things, that's what you need to humble, guys, is these things that go on inside of you. That's what you need to submit for God to do His work in our lives and our hearts. And not just people that are in here, but it's a life lesson. It's a life lesson. The world's in a mess it is in today because everybody's full of pride. They don't allow God's grace to fix what He needs to fix. Not because it's not available. It says, come boldly to the throne room of grace. Where's the throne room of grace? It's in God's character. Grace. It's in God's character. But you're going to serve this thing. I like to joke around with some of the guys, whether you're on a prescription meds, or whether you're on a little bag, or whether you're on a bottle. Please, any one of you, please show me your drug of choice or your taskmaster from the past. Please come in front here now, put it in front of me and bow down to that thing. Will any of you do it? But you understand something, that's exactly what we're doing when we don't allow God's grace to work in our lives. Might not see it in front of us, but that's exactly what we're doing. When you allow anger and bitterness and that to control you, it comes from that. It comes from serving that thing that's treated you so badly. Because if you're being treated badly by your taskmaster, you'll treat those around you badly. Now you know how your relationships with this place. Acts 17:28. It's a place. It's a relationship. Acts 17:28. It's a beautiful scripture. It says there, for in Him we live and move and have our being. You say again, for in Him we live and move and have our being. Where? In Him. Not in that thing. Not in that thing that goes on inside you. Not in that agitation, not in that frustration, not in that chaos, not in there, in Him. So when you get to a place where you're going through something, you don't know what to do or say, and you're mulling it over, and you fall to your knees, whether it's spiritually, whether it's physically, you fall to your knees, you're going into Him. It's in Him. There's a song we played just now, I Surrender. It says, what does it say about falling to my knees? How many of you fell to your knees? None of you. I'm not saying you must. I'm not saying you must, but it's in those moments. It's those moments when you think, oh, now everybody's going to look at me, everybody's going to say something. It's in those moments. And you go, oh, no, the force too hard. It's in those moments. But put it in context. I'm not saying what you put it in context in life, in living your life. How many times you come to a place where you know that you should fall to your knees, or you know you should humble yourself, or you know you should go to rehab, or you know you should listen, or you know you should give up the fight. How many times have those moments come and you've just... If you don't even resist those moments, how chaotic your life becomes. Amen. If you don't when you resist those moments, you resist the moments when you hold on to that term of how just things get bigger and then just boil over and then things go wrong. But as soon as you go, ooh, okay, whoa. And you humble yourself, and if you don't, so that moment just dies down. And the thing you're resisting just a short while back becomes easy for you. Becomes easy for you. You're not here to resist God's grace. You're here to receive God's grace. You're here to walk in God's grace. And it's not when you leave only. It's not when you get what you're asking for. It's now. It's right now. Today, in this moment, when you receive God's grace and you're living God's grace. It's now. Right here, grace is part of His character. You'll see it in your book as well. I believe grace is the ability to face your day. The ability to face your day. How many of you are only going to start your life when you leave? How about now? God gives you the grace to face what you need to face today. God gives you the grace to face your counselor. God gives you the grace to get through your phone call or miss your kids. Or God gives you the grace now, today. The Bible says that today, that now is the day of salvation. Now, right now, not tomorrow. Because what does the addict do? Tomorrow I'll stop. Okay? This after my last one. That's what the addict does. That's what we do. Grace says now. Grace says right now, grace. See, when you live there, when you live later, you're not walking in the grace that's available. It's not because it's not available, it's a free gift. It's there. So I wrote here, grace is the God-given ability to face your day. The God-given ability to face your day. Not because you're God, not because you've got it together and you're perfect. No. It's because you understand that the reason you're getting through today is because of the grace that God's given. So they inform my wife that she should not fall pregnant again. But in the back of our minds, we feel like there's something missing, and my sons had the habit of reminding me that they're not 2, they're 3. No, Daniel. He's in heaven. Okay, 100%. So, no, Papa, there's 3. Okay, so for what? Let's slow down now, so the Sarah arrives. That's where the grace comes in now. So we came back from holiday, and for some reason we decided to test, and she was pregnant. Doctor said, don't. But I must admit, we were trying, wasn't it? We just didn't expect it, because we said, okay, we'll try one more time, and we'll stop. And obviously the last time we tried, we stopped. So when I remember, guess what happened to me? I got afraid. Got very afraid. Got afraid. And I had to, in that moment, admit to God that I'm afraid. Yes, I gave myself vitamins, man. I mean, if she lay in the bed next to me and she just breathed heavier than what she should, I'd wake up. You know? So for months now, that's why you can see I'm so tired, because I'm very sensitive. I think my kids cough across the house. I can, baby, wake up, I can hear her, she's staring at me. You know? So imagine Michelle with the, are you okay? Yes, Ralph, I'm fine. Are you fine? Yes, I'm fine. Yeah, Michelle, yeah. There's a tea and there's a vitamins. Take your vitamins. It wasn't my ability that carried me through, it was God's grace that carried me through. We didn't have money for medical aid. So guess what? Government hospital. Hey, horror stories, eh? Even then one of my good friends comes to me and say that they had this situation play out and one of their kids, that's telling me the day before Michelle goes in. Grace, God's grace. I could have gone there in chaos, so I got God's grace. But everything worked out. Ended up going in hospital. Michelle with the twins had to stay in hospital for 3 days with abruption, stayed in hospital for 5-6 days, ICU, blood issues, almost anemic. So I had to give her iron, all the iron. And grace. That's God's grace. I didn't have the ability to. No. Waiting in the back of my mind, waiting for that moment to say, oh, Ralph, there's something wrong. Really, I did. But only in God's grace was I able to get through it. Michelle spent 24 hours in hospital. She was home. 24 hours. 24 hours. She was home. God's grace. See, God's grace is in continuing. God's grace is in humbling yourself and moving forward. That's what God's grace is about. God's grace is also the ability to handle the consequence. God's grace is available to you handle the consequence. Whether you're wrong or right, whether you like it or not, sometimes when you get into an altercation with someone, with a disagreement, guess what? The reason you're in the place you're in because of the decisions you made. So what happens is if you want to clash against that consequence or clash against that situation, like for example, when you leave here, and you for some reason turn left instead of right, the people that remember you from then are going to accuse you or say things to you, even though you are not doing anything wrong. So you have one of two things. You can either operate in your pride and resist and get upset because they're wrong. Yes, they're wrong. Or you can go into God's grace. That's a consequence. It's a consequence for your actions. Even if the people miss it. So God's grace is available for consequence. God's grace is there to save you. That's the scripture. Ephesians 2:8-9. Was by grace you are saved, through faith, not of works, so that no man can boast. Sustaining faith. God's grace is available to sustain you. So what happens is, if you get into a situation and there's turmoil in your life and your heart, and you decide to react to it, guess what? You're not allowing God's grace to sustain you through that period of time. You're not allowing God's grace to sustain you. Securing grace. Let me tell you something now. One of the best places to be in a relationship with Him is when, even if you've messed up completely, you get to a place you say, you know, whatever the consequence, whatever happens, I know you're there for me. People will turn on you. People will turn on you. People won't believe in you anymore. People will stop talking to you. And sometimes they have a right to do that. You must give them that space. But He will never. He will never. You are secure in Him. You're secure in Him, no matter where you're at, you're secure in Him. And my favorite is the grace to serve. The grace to serve. We tell the difference between the positive and the negative in a center like this. The positive people are the ones that are serving. Look at it. Check it out, guys. The ones that are serving. The negative people that are the ones that resist the humbling. Take a look at it. Take a look at it over the next week. The ones that serve and give their all and humble themselves and allow rebuke and allow correction and allow the change and allow the distance and allow the time and just humble themselves in that time are the ones that are positive. The ones that resist it are the ones and they don't have the grace available. The ones that's not available to them, they're not walking in the grace that God has given them. The guys that start serving are the ones that go, okay, in grace. You know what's changed my life? Yes, guys, if you knew about my life, we've all got stories, brother. All got stories. We've all got stories. I have my story. And I know the only reason I can stand here today is because of His grace. And not because I'm better than any of you. Just as much as I'm telling you to serve and humble yourselves and not to resist, and it's the very things that I've had to do in my life. Remember, it's a relationship. And I was able to do it through relationship, not because someone just told me from the pulpit, it's because I got it while sitting in a chair, or got it while meditating, or got it. You know where the best place to get something is when life's in a bit of a mess, or there's turmoil, or there's things that the best place to get it is when you fall to your knees. And hear Him saying, my grace is sufficient. That's the best place to hear. When you don't want to do something. When you don't want to follow through on something that you know is the right thing to do. When you do it in those moments is when you learn the most. It's when you hear the most. It's when your relationship is strengthened. Have you heard that saying? Well, I think it's truth. Is that love is not a feeling, guys. Hello, everybody. Love is not a feeling because that feeling will disappear. Then what do you have? I heard someone say the one, I think it was Jesse DePlan, said sometimes you're going to turn around when you're married, and you look at it, you're not going to feel married. Now, that's the problem with the world today, is that many people don't feel married, so they just get divorced. People don't feel married, they don't feel in love anymore. It's a choice you make. Love is a choice. It's a choice you make. Those are the moments. Nobody say it's for you to choose. It's not you to choose with just the actions, it's for you to choose in that moment. Are you going to resist the grace of God? Are you going to resist what God has done for you? Or are you going to accept and humble yourself? And even if that doesn't make sense, even if your child has passed away, or the divorce has gone through, or your family's turned on you, or it doesn't matter how hard you've tried to stop using it, it's in those moments. Not in those moments when things are going well. Because you need to understand something. The enemy deceives you. He tries to deceive you into thinking when things are going tough, when things are hard, he's doing nothing. Yeah, when Paul the Apostle said, I had to remove the thorn from my side, it was a messenger, not from God. It says it was a messenger from Satan. Could have been a temptation. Some people say he was blind. Some people, he had temptation, and he was saying, so he had this thing, but every time when he had the thing, every time when this thorn comes, or this weakness comes, what did Paul do? He said, God removed it from me, and he heard, in that relationship, he heard God say to him, in my weakness, in your weakness, you're made strong. You heard God say that to him. And I wanted to tell you now, I wanted to guarantee you guys now, if you get to a place, God will say the same thing to you every time you're struggling with something that's going on inside of you. Because that's the very reason why we do what we do. We don't like how we feel inside. We don't like how we feel inside, so we flatten it. We don't realize we haven't removed it, we just suppressed it. Have you ever seen a pressure cooker? Okay? What happens if you close off that release valve? What's going to happen? So what do you think happens to us? We think while we're using and running around and messing around, we think we actually, no, yes, for that moment we have some form of release or relief, but it's not actually being released. And that's why you start destroying and start hurting. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. It's because you're allowing that thorn to destroy you. Instead of allowing God's strength to strengthen you. I'm going to close off with this. I like the scripture very much. Isaiah 41:10. I wrote more scripture, but I read Sorry, 40:29. You guys ready? Now? He, I'm using the King James, whoever that giveth and thateth and thouest. Are you ready? He giveth power to the faint. To who? To the faint. To the faint. Let's say to the proud. But to the faint. Are you guys faint when you come in here? Are you guys faint in moments in your life? What if you can have stories to tell of maybe being in a place on the verge of suicide, or on the verge of just not liking yourself anymore, on the verge of even in your anger towards whatever you directed it to, it still goes back towards you projecting people. You're not actually angry with that person, you're angry with yourself. So he gives power to the faint. See, there's the grace. And to them that have no might, he increases strength. Even the youths shall faint and be weary. Hey guys that are still young, I could say other things now, but in the church service, trust me, the youth not going to last forever. Just the other day when I was young and I was able to go quickly and move quickly and not worry about tweaking my leg as I walk up the stairs. It was just the other day. People remember, time flies, eh? Even the youths will be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord, shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. They that wait upon the Lord. You know that wait is similar to wait, like waitering. Being a waiter, similar to what? Serving. Those that serve the Lord will renew their strength and mount up with wings as eagles. Not those that resist Him, not those that fight Him. If you don't like me, some of you don't like me, some of you might like me. If you don't like me, guess who loves me? God. We give her grace. So if you allow the way you feel about me to affect you, It usually means an excuse not to do what you're supposed to do. Are you serving? See, but that's the thing you don't understand. Let go of all that nonsense. I know there's things going on inside of us we don't like, but I can guarantee you, as you humble yourself, those things will start disappearing. Remember, you're allowing a temporary thing to control your life. Allow the eternal to control your life. Amen. Amen. Can I Father God, I want to thank you for your word, Lord. I want to thank you for your grace. I want to thank you for who you are, Lord. I want to thank you that it's neither earned or deserved, Lord. But I thank you as we receive your grace, Lord, that it gives us the ability to go through what we need to go through and grow through what we need to grow through, Lord. I just thank you that we get this, Lord, that we understand this and we see this, Lord. And that your Spirit is available to us to recognize those moments, those crossroad moments in our lives where we can either fall to our knees and receive your grace, or we could resist it. And I thank you, Lord, that we're no longer in that place, Lord, that we hear what you have to say here today. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.